The moment when a superstar's composure completely shatters in front of millions is something basketball has rarely witnessed. That's exactly what sources are suggesting happened when Caitlin Clark learned.
Many fans there, at least in part, to see Indiana star player Caitlin Clark.
About the WNBA's unprecedented disciplinary action against Sophie Cunningham, the league's most marketable player, who has carefully maintained her professional image throughout her meteoric rise, reportedly reached a breaking point that could change everything we thought we knew about the rookie sensation's character. But what could possibly drive the usually composed Clark to such an explosive reaction? What relationship exists between these two players that would create such an emotional response? The fallout from this moment threatens to expose tensions within women's basketball that nobody saw coming. The WNBA maintains strict policies regarding player conduct, with disciplinary measures ranging from fines and suspensions to more severe consequences for violations of league standards. Throughout the league's history, lifetime bans have been extremely rare, reserved only for the most serious violations that fundamentally compromise the integrity of professional basketball or create unsafe environments for participants. Sophie Cunningham, the Phoenix Mercury guard known for her sharpshooting ability and veteran leadership, has built a 6-year professional career characterized by consistent performance and professional conduct. The 28-year-old has averaged 37.8% from three-point range throughout her WNBA career while serving as a reliable role player for championship contending teams. Questions arise about what circumstances might have led to such severe disciplinary action against a player with Cunningham's established reputation and professional track record. The implications could suggest that any violation serious enough to warrant lifetime punishment would represent a dramatic departure from her documented character and previous conduct within the league. Caitlin Clark's relationship with fellow players throughout the WNBA has been closely scrutinized since her arrival as the league's most high-profile rookie. Her interactions with veterans, competitors, and teammates have generally been characterized by mutual respect and professional courtesy, making any explosive reaction particularly significant for understanding her personality and values. The pressure of being the WNBA's most visible player creates unique stresses that few athletes have experienced in women's professional basketball. Clark's every statement, reaction, and public appearance generates extensive media coverage and social media discussion that can amplify even minor emotional responses into major storylines.
Can they win the WNBA championship?
They have a lot to prove, but I am putting them in the conversation of contenders.
Sports psychologists note that elite athletes often develop strong emotional connections with competitors they respect, particularly when those relationships involve mentorship, friendship, or shared experiences that transcend normal competitive dynamics. The intensity of professional basketball can create bonds between players that extend beyond team affiliations. One has to wonder what personal or professional connection might exist between Clark and Cunningham that could provoke such a strong emotional response. The situation leaves room for speculation about whether their relationship involves mentorship, friendship, or shared experiences that make disciplinary action against Cunningham particularly meaningful to Clark. The timing of any such reaction, described as occurring shortly after a league announcement, suggests that Clark's response was immediate and unfiltered rather than a calculated public statement.
For Caitlin Clark, I'll remind everyone, last year you come right off of the college experience, so she had no downtime in between. How much better is she in year 2?
Spontaneous emotional reactions often reveal more authentic insights into individuals' characters and priorities than carefully prepared public comments. The WNBA's approach to discipline and player conduct has evolved significantly as the league has grown in popularity and commercial success. Higher visibility creates greater scrutiny of player behavior and increases pressure on league officials to maintain professional standards that reflect positively on women's basketball. Recent years have seen increased attention to issues of player safety, discrimination, and conduct that could damage the league's reputation or create hostile environments for participants. The league's collective bargaining agreement includes specific provisions about acceptable behavior and the consequences for violations of professional standards. The process for investigating serious conduct violations typically involves league officials, player representatives, and independent investigators who examine evidence and interview relevant parties before determining appropriate disciplinary measures. This process is designed to ensure fairness while maintaining the league's ability to protect its integrity and participants. Legal experts note that lifetime bans require substantial evidence of serious misconduct and typically involve violations that cannot be addressed through lesser disciplinary measures. The permanence of such punishment reflects the severity of alleged violations and the league's determination to maintain professional standards. The potential impact of lifetime disciplinary action extends beyond individual players to affect team dynamics, competitive balance, and the broader culture of professional women's basketball. The removal of experienced players can create ripple effects throughout teams and the league that extend far beyond the immediate disciplinary action. Clark's career trajectory and public image have been carefully managed since her college days at the University of Iowa, where she became a national phenomenon while maintaining a reputation for professionalism and competitive excellence. Any departure from her established public persona would represent a significant development in her professional evolution. The commercial implications of Clark's emotional responses are substantial given her role as the WNBA's primary marketing asset and the face of women's basketball's continued growth. Sponsors, media partners, and league officials have significant interests in maintaining her positive public image and marketability.
Play harder, study harder, and she wants to do that for a young fan.
Social media amplification of athlete emotional responses can transform private moments into public controversies that affect careers, endorsement deals, and public perception in ways that previous generations of athletes never experienced. The viral nature of sports content means that even brief emotional reactions can become defining moments. The relationship between veteran players and rookies in the WNBA often involves mentorship and guidance that helps new players navigate the challenges of professional basketball. Experienced players like Cunningham typically serve as role models and advisors for younger athletes entering the league. The basketball community's interconnected nature means that disciplinary actions affecting one player can create emotional responses throughout the league, particularly when those actions involve respected veterans or circumstances that other players find concerning or unjust. Player advocacy and support networks within the WNBA have become increasingly important as the league has grown and players have gained more influence over their professional environments. Athletes often feel obligated to support colleagues they believe have been treated unfairly or subjected to excessive punishment. The timing and context of emotional reactions can significantly influence how they are perceived and interpreted by fans, media, and league officials. Immediate responses to surprising news often reflect genuine emotions rather than calculated public relations strategies. Questions arise about how league officials might respond to player criticism of disciplinary decisions and whether such reactions could influence future policy decisions or create additional tensions between players and management. The balance between maintaining authority and respecting player concerns requires careful navigation. The broader implications for women's basketball include the potential impact on team chemistry, player relationships, and the league's ability to maintain positive public perception while enforcing necessary disciplinary standards. The challenge of balancing player support with professional accountability affects all professional sports organizations. The media's role in reporting and interpreting athlete emotional responses creates additional pressure on players to manage their public reactions carefully. The 24-hour news cycle and social media environment mean that spontaneous reactions can quickly become major storylines that define public perception. Legal considerations surrounding player discipline include due process requirements, appeals procedures, and the potential for legal challenges to disciplinary decisions that players or their representatives believe are unjust or excessive. The complexity of these processes can create ongoing uncertainty and tension. The psychological impact of witnessing a colleague receive severe disciplinary action can affect other players' behavior, performance, and relationships within the league. The uncertainty and concern created by unexpected disciplinary decisions can have lasting effects on team and league dynamics. The role of player unions and representative organizations becomes crucial during disciplinary controversies as these groups must balance individual player advocacy with broader concerns about league stability and professional standards. The complexity of these relationships affects how disciplinary issues are resolved. Looking toward the future, the resolution of any disciplinary controversy and its aftermath will likely influence how the WNBA approaches similar situations and how players respond to league decisions they find problematic. The precedents established during high-profile cases can have lasting effects on league culture and player management relationships. The continued growth and success of women's basketball depends partly on maintaining positive relationships between players, league officials, and fans while upholding professional standards that protect the integrity of competition. The challenge of balancing these interests requires ongoing attention and adaptation. The evolution of athlete advocacy and player empowerment in professional sports suggests that emotional responses to disciplinary decisions may become more common as players feel increasingly comfortable expressing their opinions about league policies and decisions that affect their colleagues and the sport they love. If you're as shocked by this potential explosive reaction as we are, go ahead and like this video. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Caitlin Clark would be justified in defending a fellow player against harsh discipline? Being able to get things moving and inflow for this Indiana Fever squad. How should the WNBA balance maintaining standards with player support and advocacy? We want to hear your perspective on how athletes should respond when they disagree with league decisions. Then hit subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss our coverage of this developing story that could change everything about player-league relationships in women's basketball. Thanks for watching.